Next up is Paelias.
Yes, I'm playing Paelias, Maenendon, Astral Elf Wizard. A fucking nerd.
Fucking nerd. Knows everything about magic.
I think I've heard a little about your character from Kardoc.
He likes to shoot fireballs.
Look, I like big explosions.
Hell yeah.
And the Vertex Wharf.
And of course, my legendary Vertex War.
I don't even know what the real spell is called. It's just Vertex Wharf now.
I think it's like Vertex Warp, but I don't know.
Vortex War.
Vortex Warp. There we go.
Can mean
So
to
warp.
death.
It's so warped we don't even remember the name. All right, Vaszerei.
God.
Alright. Vaszerei Pinefall is a Kobold Eldritch Knight, formerly from a kingdom known as the Kingdom of Kadramun, a kingdom of Kobold. However, that kingdom was destroyed in this cataclysm, which had sent the remnants of Vazerei's people and her here to this place to meet with the Vagabonds. She is a stalwart follower of Bahamut, and typically wears half-plate armor, and travels with a feline companion named Coco.
Oh yeah.
And also the party pyromaniac.
Aside from the other one.
Yeah, you might have thought I was the pyromaniac. No.
I am the fire safety
there's
officer.
two.
In my mind, Vazerei's the pyromaniac, and Paelias is the professional pyromaniac.
Except I actually fight the fires.
She fights with
Well,
fire.
I
she
now
fights
have the
with
ability
fire.
to fight fire
Hell yeah!
by
Finally got
using
two
the
people.
third level spell that I don't have currently prepared.
Oh, God damn it!
Hell yeah.
But it's fine because I don't have any fire spells prepared either.
It all works
Shocker.
out in the end.
Oh my.
Look, we're doing infiltration. I got shit like lock breaking, magic countering, invisibility,
But like fire.
teleportation.
Light the building on fire, everyone leaves, you grab the money. There you go.
Hell yeah.
She's got the
Would
idea.
work. Could work. Okay, and finally, Vinshenzo.
Hell yeah.
The one and only.
Also, you can like say things about your character out of character if you want us, the players, to know things, and we can not know them in game. Yeah. Anyway, I'm Vinshenzo Cairona, a bard who departed his homeland from in the Underdark to seek fame and fortune and become renowned to appease his the heralds of his bloodline or whatever.
Or whatever.
Yeah. Since then, things have happened, and that goal is probably not really relevant anymore, but things change in people's lives, I guess. Anyway, he's very flamboyant and arrogant yet well-mannered. Yeah. I'm trying to pull up his character sheet. Sorry, I'm brain fried. I worked a long
Who's
day.
my character? I can't remember.
He's a dude that does thing.
Yeah.
He also likes to stand on rooftops.
I was just about to mention the
And
same
sing songs of
goddamn
his
thing.
people.
He is the fiddler on the
I
roof.
saved
You literally-
Carlos's life by doing that.
You saved most of our lives.
Yeah, it's yeah,
Hey, if it works, it works.
works. That's the fucked up thing.
Or-
It fucking works.
Or okay, so this is the party. as to a quick I'll give you a quick intro to the world, even though I told you about it a little bit before, but now you have like visual references.
Yeah.
And then I'll sort of catch everybody up on sort of the story so far. So we are adventuring currently in a place called the Shattered Realms, which is a pocket. It's like a mini pocket plane where chunks of other planes, shattered planes, have fallen in and created islands in an endless sea, islands and landmasses in endlessly, as well as scattering the survivors of many peoples and nations about its confines. I think the majority of the vagabonds came from a world called Migranland, which is this big map, the ancient old-looking map, which basically no longer exists. This is where they hailed from. So when you hear the name Nissian Vagabonds, it's this tiny little island there in the center where they all started adventuring.
Our ship captain came up with the title.
Yes, and
Who
he's
was once a player, but is now an NPC because Devin's too busy.
I
Some of
can't
the-
actually see that map.
Oh, wow.
It's just
Lost.
a white square.
It's
Lost.
just a white square if you weren't here when it was conceived, and it's stored in our memory.
Lost to time and space. Well,
It's in the I mean, not that it's very relevant, but I can link it here. It's in the
Isn't it also in the map channel?
yeah, that's where I'm going. Yeah.
re-uploaded at some point. But moving onwards with the storytelling. So they found themselves in a place called Sanctuary Island when they got pulled through the crazy storm. The cataclysm is what we've been calling it, which was created when the vagabonds returned to Nissia after venturing to strengthen themselves and gather some special equipment to go take on an army of vampires and other evil, nasty things, who were in the middle of conducting a crazy magic ritual which overloaded and essentially ripped the world to pieces as far as we know. And through that chase, so as far as you know, it was just one vampire.
One elder
Let's do it.
vampire.
One crazy vampire. So they were
Got his ass
torn out of reality and found this island with a couple of survivors and essentially like banded together, went on a exploration mission with their ship to find a couple other islands which have now been turned into the Sanctuary Isles. The actual Sanctuary.
Can we rename Isle of Beasts to Stormwind Isle?
Yeah, I'm okay with that. Petition the queen. I'm sure she'd be okay with that too. Chill's original character and the only player death so far is a fella named Isaac Stormwind. He died on the Isle of Beasts when everybody accidentally into the abyss. They also found Salamander Island, which they killed a dragon on, and then Walton's Archipelago, which they fought. I think he was a nasty little demon with a blood witch for a companion. During those travels, they heard tales about this city in the sea called New Ravnica, and evidence of their presence was found even in the islands nearby. So they spent 3 months voyaging across the ocean after meeting with Representative New Ravnica, who Vinshenzo convinced to defect and join his queen, his wife, who is now queen of Sanctuary. And so he defected, gave him a map, said, "Here it is. It's 3 months away." And so they buggered off to New Ravnica, which leads us to this nice big map that you see right on the table, which is the city itself of New Ravnica. So to give you a kind of a real-world equivalent sort of scale, basically this is New York City, with all of the population like that you would expect from New York City. What do we do with the Vampire's Medallion? I don't think anybody threw it into the sea. I think you still have it. I think it's like in a chest somewhere back home, probably in like the tavern, I would assume.
Okay.
Forgotten in a corner because you guys have had way more important stuff to worry about.
Yeah.
So yes, this is the great city of New Ravnica. Is torn from the plane of Ravnica itself, which was an entire world that was just one giant city. Kidders, since coming to this place, you would have, because I mean, this is where you're going to be. This is where we are now, so this is where you'll have found your way. You'll know some basic things. So the new Ravnica island is ruled by 10 guilds who cooperate together to take charge of various functions within the city. Not everybody in the city is employed by or dedicated to a guild. However, roughly half the population are employed by one guild or another. The form of government is kind of like a senate, and while the senate itself is actually like a private guild known as the Azoria Senate, they handle law enforcement, bureaucracy, as well as just generally sort of keeping the whole city running from an administrative standpoint. You have the Boros Legion, which is a private military, which handles the defense of the city itself. You have the Selesnya Conclave, which run this nice big little green space here. They're like a guild full of druids, monks, hippies, vegetarians, Buddhists, people like that, and they feed the city, and also they're kind of like communists too, where they believe everybody should join together under the Great One super tree that they all worship. You have the Izzet League, which are a guild of magical scientists, and they are quite friendly and familiar to any and all Dragonborn who come within the city's reach, as their guild leader, which is on their old world, was once, well, it still is. He's an ancient dragon.
Hell yeah.
The other ones that are relevant. Well, the big relevant one that we're going to be dealing with this session is the Orzhov Syndicate, which is over here. They have this like big chunk in the center. They're a combination of the bank, the church, and the mafia, all in one.
Wonderful.
Yeah. So it's a private bank. Also, so basically like you worship, but you're also like always in debt to them, and the more you get in debt to them, the more you're sort of like enshrined into their services. Pretty nasty, greedy capitalism. Also, Italians. That's pretty much what they are.
God.
I have to start giving them Italian accents now. Who else do we have? We have the Golgari Swarm, which are dark elves that live in the Undercity. They handle the recycling. They basically the darker side of the natural cycle, the life, the rot. That's where they're at.
Night Soil
As well.
Keepers.
Yeah, they're the night soil keepers, and they also give fungus food to the poor, grown from the night soil that they keep. And your grandma's corpse, when she dies, they take your grandma's corpse too.
Hell yeah.
They're all those
Great.
weird things. And then the last three are the Simic Combine, which nobody's encountered, nobody really cares about, nobody really knows where they are out of the party and the group, and that's the way it's going to stay until they become relevant for plot reasons. You have the Cult of Rakdos, which is Knight's favorite guild. He loves them a lot. They are the entertainers, the performers, the menial laborers, and also the craziest, most batshit insane like circus actors the world has ever seen. And then there's the Gruul. And the Gruul are considered a guild just in name. They are savages and barbarians who live in this like destroyed part of the city here. And they are essentially known for causing chaos and mayhem. That's about all they're really known for. They're the force of chaos in the world that is Ravnica. So you would have come onto the island in the Great Port down here, and as you're venturing around the city, this is kind of it. The story so far: the vagabonds arrived in New Ravnica trying to get a little bit of a scoop on what this place is, whether or not they're a threat to their own homeland, and to see if they can broker some sort of an official relationship between their country and the Senate of New Ravnica. Along the way, for doing that, they started to get unnecessarily implicated in a fairly insidious plot, as they found out that the magical pact that keeps all of the guilds in check, known as the Guild Pact, which is basically like a magical constitution that binds them all together from ensuring like nobody takes over or overbalances the power dynamic. That pact has been severed when they came into this new world, and a couple of bad guys found that out first and started plotting. And thanks to the vagabonds, it was uncovered, and now the good guys are trying to play catch up. And they've enlisted the vagabonds themselves for help, as they have proven to be currently the most competent people on the island who can deal with this mess. We are on the eve of, well, I mean, come on. Kind of true. That's the easiest description I can make. Allegedly competent. We are on the eve of some sort of crazy circus or tournament or football game, Stanley Cup playoffs, who knows, at this crazy coliseum here. And the vagabonds, this is sort of for your meta knowledge. I understand that the player herself, or the character herself, might not know this, but the vagabonds are getting ready to use that as a distraction to rob the Orzhov Syndicate of all of their money, or at least as much of their money as they can find in one place. At the same time, the vagabonds are keeping a check on the Colosseum to ensure that no overly unnecessarily shady business happens without their undue intervention. Am I missing anything, fellas?
That was pretty good.
Okay. So because of the way things are scheduled to be scheduled, I'm going to start off with the vagabonds, and then at the appropriate time, which we are all aware of, who needs to be aware of, you'll be sort of dropped in.
Oh.
And I'll cue you in when you're getting inserted into the story. How's that sound?
Alright.
Deadly. All right, fellers. When you guys were last in the session, I believe you left off while you were planning your crazy heist scheme. I think you were back on the ship.
We should all be back on the ship.
Yeah.
I don't know. I left early because my back hurt.
Your back hurt. Sad. Make sure you take some Robitussin.
Then,
I took
We
a
held it-
leave.
to put it bluntly, we held hands going back to the ship. That way you could, find your way home.
Oh, I forgot about the most important part of the story so far.
What?
Big bowling!
Oh,
No!
Yeah, big
God damn it. No!
They have giants who bowl, and they use goblins as pinballs.
My God.
Or as bowling
And-
pins.
And me, the kobold, had to end up as a pin.
Oh my God.
She got paid money to be a bowling pin. Okay, sorry. It's my last.
Yeah.
This is my last insert. Okay, yeah, you guys are all on the ship.
Wow.
Chris is inserting himself.
Damn.
I've inserted. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, what happened at the end of last session?
Okay, so I'll let you guys sort of run him up on the plan, because you guys have more pertinent details for it than I do.
Okay, so
Yeah. Okay.
last I checked, Paelias and Carlos were planning to go to the main building,
Yes.
while me and Vin were planning to go down here. Along with, well, actually, no, Vin didn't get to decide because he wasn't here, so
You
he
can choose either.
could choose either, yeah.
What do I
was
choo-
thinking of-
choose? Sorry.
I'm
Basically,
thinking-
there's two operations that are going on. Carlos and Paelias and some other dudes are going to be robbing the bank. Vaszerei and the host of Bahamut are going to be standing by the Colosseum to thwart whatever evil schemes are happening.
I think I failed to
Do we know
realize.
that the Colosseum is linked to the bank?
I don't think it's linked to the bank. I think it's linked to the Cataclysm.
Oh.
I think
It's probably linked
I think that's
to
what
whatever
happened.
the Rakdos are planning and doing.
I think they're trying to open things up in the Colosseum, and I failed to realize it the first time. How could I have been so blind?
She was too busy playing big bowling to know.
I was too busy being a fucking bowling pin to realize that I was being deceived.
What a
Yeah.
pinhead.
You know,
I was
right?
waiting for the signal the whole time, and it just never came.
I was bold.
Hell yeah.
But you weren't alone. There were others, so I guess you were Kobold.
No. Like King,
Oh
why
my
would you
God.
why would you do this to me? God damn it.
Sounds like a car wreck.
It's not.
What it sounded like would have fucking hit me too.
Standing.
Okay. So, who's... Vaszerei is going to the Colosseum by herself to hold off the Cataclysm or whatever?
I mean,
With the
technically,
paladins.
she's going with all of like the chosen fighters of
Bahamut.
Bahamut.
She's going with
Oh.
the church, and we left the decision up to Vinshenzo on who he wanted to accompany, but we're pretty confident it was going to be Vaszerei.
But nobody wanted to force you into that decision.
Yeah,
because they're-
The one big problem that we were running into, though, was specifically this ledge right here, this cliffside. Because right now we're currently split. Not that
I thought we were on the boat. What?
we are on the boat. It's just part of the planning stuff.
Once the
Oh.
plan happens, we're going to be split.
Correct.
Yeah. I can get Vaszerei up that cliff, or down that cliff.
But can you get an entire army up the cliff?
No.
Well,
that's
remember,
the problem.
remember the other thing that you have, the little gate cube that you got from the scientists.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, Paelias says that, I'm pretty sure.
That sounds handy.
Yes, the thing we're setting up in the vault so we can get people to carry out the money for us.
Yeah.
/ insert
Oh.
reinforcements. It's
Yeah.
a two-way. It's a two-way thing. So you can get guys into the vault and you get guys out, but you actually have to have one of the cubes in the place where you want to get to.
Is there like a time constraint to the bank and the Cataclysm?
The reason, if you're wondering why we're doing it at the same time,
Yeah, I'm wondering.
so that whatever's happening with the Colosseum is happening tonight. And we're also predicting that since stuff's going to be happening with the Colosseum, that might reduce security on the bank side of things. So if the Syndicate is involved in any way and they move manpower away from the bank to help with the Colosseum, we want to take advantage of that by hitting that while they're distracted.
Okay. Hell yeah. Okay, so I feel like the bank is more Vin's speed, but I don't want to leave Vaszerei out to dry. I guess, yeah, you have Paelias to do the magical trickery.
Yeah. He's been studying like a nerd.
Got him. Okay, I'll go with Vaszerei.
Alright, so you guys are gonna go with Vaszerei. So you're gonna go with Vaszerei, and then Carlos Paelias is gonna go in their direction. So, how do you deploy? Also remembering, just for clarity's sake on my part, the resources you guys are planning to use that are available to you are the Spies of House Demir, Legionnaires of the Boros and the Holy Chapter of Bahamut and their paladins.
How far away is Rabbit again? Rabbit check.
Oh, Rabbit check. It's been it's been more than a few days. I'd say Rabbit's on her way today. She'll be here. She'll be here this evening.
Oh, hell yeah. Right at the last moment when,
Right
when I need her most. Hell yeah.
Dramatically, she's always on time.
He's a wizard.
Hell yeah.
You're a wizard, Rabbit. Yeah. So I'll leave it to you guys to figure out which group we want to do first, because I think everybody's kind of...
Rabbit is my spectral summoned Pegasus.
And it's black.
Like me.
Okay.
Yeah. It's just level
Wait.
14 things. No biggie.
All right. Are you guys want to go to the cathedral to like split up, or do you want to split up from the ship and then move in separate directions? Is my big curiosity. I need to understand the progress of the party and where you guys are going to go first / next.
I feel like moving in separate groups is the safer option. It draws less attention, so I'd probably split up from the boat.
Should we be in disguise, Carlos? Vinshenzo
Probably.
would ask. Okay.
Yeah.
I will.
Carlos and Paelias should definitely be in disguise. Vaszerei probably won't be because I think she's marching with the host of Bahamut. I guess it's up to Vinshenzo if he wants to be in disguise or not.
Remembering that Vinshenzo's true identity gets him access to some special places at the Colosseum.
Yeah.
Just you don't have to use that. I'm just sort of pointing it out as a reminder.
Y'all have more idea of what's going on than me, so Vinshenzo would listen to the heist planner.
Because Vaszerei isn't planning on being disguised, is she?
No.
She's just marching up Main Street with all her dragon friends.
Yep.
Yeah. Nothing suspicious about
Yeah,
that.
I guess if Vaszerei is there, then I'll be there too.
Hell yeah. Alright. So I'll make a disguise for myself and Paelias.
You make brand new ones?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Roll her up.
Okay. And just a reminder, was it a deception check that we used?
I believe we were running deception, yes.
Okay.
You have proficiency because it's you have proficiency with the disguise kit.
Oh, this got blowed up, by the way.
Okay. First one's unnatural 20.
Yeah, that's why it's red.
The fish oil rig.
Red is blowed up.
Half of it got blown up, the other got Swiss cheesed.
Second one is a 29.
20 and then 29.
Yep.
Those are solid rolls.
Who got the wait? Who got 29?
Carlos.
Doesn't really matter to me. I can give Paelias the 29, I don't mind.
No, I didn't catch if you said who was the first one and who was the second one.
He just said first and second. We didn't have an assignment to it.
Yeah.
I'm stealthily looking for a pen in the background because I thought I had a pen, but it was actually a fork.
Dinner's ready.
Well, I'll have Paelias have the 29 so he isn't bothered. He can be sneaky and maybe no one will even know it's him.
Yeah, you're better at deception than him.
Yeah, I could probably talk my way out of something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good idea.
I could derp my way out of something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Screw it. I'll just take it. I'll take notes electronically. I'm going paper free this session.
Hell yeah.
All right. I have that noted down. Eeny, meeny, miny.
Hello.
Screw it. We'll get Vinshenzo and Vaszerei underway because it also gives me a chance to bring Keeters in, get her stuck into this whole mess. So you two are going to go to the cathedral first, I assume, because Vaszerei, you're the planner extraordinaire of this phase of the mission.
Yep.
Kitters is the key to all of this.
She's the key.
You're the mark.
Oh. Soft barking in the background. Okay, so you guys are going to boogie your way onto the cathedral with your true identities, or you said that's what you're doing. So you head to the cathedral. You've already talked to the order, and they've already dedicated their guys to you, if I recall correctly.
That is correct. You did that for time saving sake.
Yeah, because we do like saving time. I save it about as well as I save my real money. So, whole ton of, not that many. There's more, obviously. Just gonna leave it like that because I'm not gonna like overload with models. But you have a squad of Urds. There are 8 Urds. Do it like this: 8 tons Urds. Chosen Urds. And there's another further section of kobolds with little crossbalds,
Crossball.
who are wearing they're wearing darkened down like cloaks with studded leather armor and chainmail that's like been deliberately blackened so that they're easier to a little bit more sneaky. As well as they're still wearing like their insignia of Bahamut, but it is shiny, but it has been dulled down so that it doesn't. Or sorry, it's metallic, but it's been dulled down so it doesn't shine. So they're like your scout crossbolts.
Outbolts.
Call them skirmishers because that's where they are. Doesn't really matter, but. And then you also have a host of the majority of the force are heavily armed and armored dragonborn in plate mail. Your favorite, dragonborn. Guy doesn't actually have wings, but he looks cool. And then there's about 15 of them. So you got a fairly big host, and they're assembled. They're ready for you. They're waiting at the entrance of the cathedral for Vin and Vaz to show up.
Vaszerei is going to walk from the ship, taking Vinshenzo if he's willing to come with me. And we are going to go collect ourselves some champions. And we are going to go give the Colosseum a visit in case there are demons.
Hell yeah. Okay. So, Kitters, you are on your way to try and find this temple that you've been told about from passers-by, where there might be somebody who's able to help you with your, we'll call it a condition because I'll allow you to introduce that however you wish. Your
The disease.
yeah, that's a good way to call it. And you've been pretty able to get some easy directions as to where to go, which is this corner of the city here, with a fairly lavishly decorated, sort of like, what's the big Orleans cathedral? Notre Dame. So like it's kind of like the Notre Dame cathedral, but draconic. It's very, very lavishly decorated. High Gothic arches. There's busts of gold, bronze, and silver all over the place. It looks like it cost several fortunes to build with the resources and material that were used on this beautiful cathedral. And overlooking the massive wood and with inlaid gold double doors at the front steps is a carved stone head of a dragon, meant to resemble the likeness of Bahamut himself. Assembled on the front steps outside is a collection of kobolds and dragonborn, all armed, armored, and ready for a fight, that are meeting with a further kobold who is a little bit more distinguished in her appearance, as well as what looks to be a drow wearing fine noble's clothes.
You move her real quick. Should she be like over here?
You'd be coming into this like square over here, yeah.
Okay.
You'd- whatever distance you observe them at. I mean, the second you round the corner, you'll see the group of them. They're pretty conspicuous.
And there's a lot of like kobolds and dragonborn.
There's 16 kobolds and 15 dragonborn. Sorry, there's 17 kobolds, including the nice fancy one, but 15 dragonborn.
Vari is gonna visibly flinch away when she rounds the corner and sees them. Just take a few steps back.
Eventually, after a few minutes of observation, they form up into a fairly professional-looking column, 3 abreast, and however many they need to be deep. And they begin marching in your direction.
No wonder.
Well, in the direction of this. I
Yeah.
assume, Vaszerei, you guys are taking the most convenient route to the route.
I'm planning on it, yeah.
Now, I want to stress convenient and not fastest, because of course fastest takes you through the stupid zone. So you're going to go like south around following the main boulevard, or you can go up through like the government. Oh no, you can't do that. No, yeah, you got to go down and around, or you can go up and through the dead zone. There's no cell signal there. Be careful. Somebody might steal your shoes.
Vaszerei doesn't use to.
So
Hey.
can I see Knight's character or just the big group?
Knight's character and Vinshenzo's and Seeker's character are leading the column. So
Yep,
they're-
a kobold
they're
and drow are leading it.
And this,
She'd
this
see
looks-
them first.
Yeah, she would see them first. They would be the first ones to come near you as they approach.
Okay, then she's gonna clearly avoid the dragonborn and the kobold as much as she can. Go up to Vinshenzo.
Oh,
Hell yeah.
Excuse me, is this the temple of the mighty? And she looks at a little smudged scrap of paper in her claws. The mighty Bah Humbug.
I think I just died several levels inside.
Oh my god.
I'm
We haven't even
terribly
done the heist
sorry.
yet.
I'm terribly sorry. I meant Baja Blast.
Oh.
Uh,
Vinshenzo would say,
Knight takes psychic damage.
"This is not the temple, merely its clergy. Anyone within could direct you to such a temple."
I just need to speak with someone who is high rank here.
Vinshenzo would pat Vaszerei on the back and shove her forward gently.
Mari just kind of looks at her and then squints at Vinshenzo. I don't want to speak to your child.
I beg your pardon.
I beg your pardon, madam.
Surely this is a child. Look
Highborn-
at it.
Highborn, you do not have to speak to me in such way.
I'll have you know, it was Lady Pinefall's philanthropy that happened to bail the church or the temple out of quite a substantial debt.
Barry just kind of looks between them and shrugs. If that's the case, would you be able to let me speak to your god?
Do you wish to speak to the dragon god Bahamut?
Hell yeah.
Yes, sir. Whatever its name is.
Highborn, you can come inside. You may pray.
Oh, are we
I
at
don't-
the temple? I thought we were like in a procession walking to the Colosseum.
You just left it
Oh,
You
okay.
guys-
because she
I'm,
came around the corner.
I'm sorry. I thought we made more distance than that. Okay. Then I would say yes, it is the temple.
I don't pray. I merely wish to speak to your dragon god.
If you're expecting to see some sort of physical manifestation inside, I do not think you will find it. Perhaps I might be able to pass a message along for you. What is it that you wish to speak?
The private matter. I seek help
Private matter.
from a powerful being, and he sounds like he fits.
A powerful being. There are many powerful beings in this city. You sure he's the one you're looking for?
Yes, he is of dragon blood, and many say he is a god.
Azrael looks to Vin for a moment with some confusion. And then looks back to Vari.
Don't be so judgmental, Lady Pinefall. It's a possible new member of your clergy.
The question is, would she be interested in such a thing?
It matters not.
That is fair. Please come right this way.
Hell yeah.
You're gonna dip back into the temple real quick.
Yeah, and
Stop
possible.
the stampede.
yeah, I'd like to invite Vari for a moment if that's possible.
For sure. Okay.
If Vari
Want
will
call them
come
to
inside.
just like keep on going on their own, or would you like them to wait for you? Because they're fully independent and capable creatures who can find their way to the Colosseum.
That depends. Vin, do you want to wait or not?
I'll stay with you.
In that case, we can hold for now.
All right, they'll go back and like gaggle outside, understanding the importance of
A
serving
random
the
person off the street.
Instead of
Yep.
saving the world.
You could just tell her
Sure, we
to
can offer a moment.
wait.
Spot.
Be like, hey, we're busy. Can you wait?
Why don't you come with us? We'll talk on the way. Oh, by the way,
Yeah.
we're gonna go save the world. You in?
Hey, it might get Bahamut to help you.
Yeah, he himself
Get in
may
his good graces.
intervene if it's dire enough, I guess. Maybe, I don't know. I don't know what gods do.
What that god do?
Welcome
Well,
back.
Vari, do you follow?
Yeah, she follows him. Follows her.
Surely you can walk and talk, Lady Pinefall.
I think it is more of a question of showing.
Oh.
Oh.
Going to invite Vari inside the cathedral. And, unless she has any particular interest in somewhere else, I plan to bring her to the altar.
Okay. You take the lady to the altar. And you kneel. Do you kneel before the great altar?
I do.
The full on, like the main altar in the cathedral is they're in between masses, as it is it's like afternoon. Unless you guys are starting first thing in the morning. I don't remember if there was a specified time. I was under the impression that you're aligning your operation with the actual Coliseum event.
Yeah.
So in that case, it'd be like mid-afternoon-ish to try and get your guys all in order and such. There you go.
Chris,
All
did
of
we
dragons?
ever decide if she had like been here for a while or if she just recently?
You know the city fairly well. And because of that, you know your way around, and also that's how like you were able to get enough of an impression of this place that it wasn't like it motivated you to go there in the first place and sort of overlook your hesitations because you heard enough things where you're like, okay, this might be worth it.
Okay.
Despite your sort of despite your premonition.
She knows the city pretty well, but probably not like the whole world and everything.
That's
Hell
it.
yeah.
You were a refugee who was brought in on a ship to the port as sort of like someone found you however you ended up, and I'll kind of leave that one sort of to you on how you might have ended up here. Maybe you crashed down in a comet. Maybe they found you on a stranded island, but you were brought here as a refugee, and you were able to get yourself some papers and make your way into the city. And you've been here for, I think, a few weeks would be long enough to get familiar enough with the layout and also give you a meta, like your character, the ability to roll history or religion or anything that would have to do with the affairs of New Ravnica.
Okay.
So with that being said, the major altar, the big ass proper one that goes to Bahamut himself and not any of his minor saints or anything, is at is sort of within the apex of the cathedral itself. They're in between masses, as there is a midday mass and there's an evening mass. However, there are a few of the clergy about who are tending to all of the various candles. They're dusting the corners and all that sort of thing. And the father, I don't think I ever gave him a name, but the good father himself, he's sort of preparing his next notes and such for the evening mass, and setting out books and a few holy objects for which people can revere upon and draw inspiration. And he nods to you politely, Vaszerei, but he sort of keeps out of the way unless beckoned upon, as he still has his own daily job to do. But you are before the altar of Bahamut.
Vari's just kind of watch her kneel and stand awkwardly a few steps away.
Well, what do you wish to ask the father?
Is your god not here?
What did you expect?
I expected him to be here.
I had already explained to you. If you were expecting a physical manifestation of him being in this place, I don't think you will find it. You have to
Where
be a
does he
follower.
Where does he stay? How do you speak to him?
Through prayer.
That is not acceptable for my purposes.
Then I'm afraid you will never speak to him yet.
Oh,
You will not find what you seek if you are not willing.
Are you
me-
unfamiliar with gods?
No. I'm unfamiliar with these gods. I'm not from your world.
I am not from this one either.
You must not be from mine.
I'm not from this one either.
We had many so-called dragon gods in my world. And they were in their temples always.
We had Bahamut, Tiamat, Io. We've never actually had physical manifestations of them, however their kin are around us, the dragons. You are, however, one of the closest that you could get to their kin. You are Highborn.
She just keeps her mouth shut and doesn't want to say anything that might offend them.
You could speak to your gods whenever you pleased? Your dragon gods?
I wouldn't call them gods anymore, but yes. Could visit the temple and make offerings and request things of them.
Vaszerei seems to squint.
That seems pretty
That is
similar.
what I expected here.
That seems pretty similar to what Lady Pinefall is showing you.
But he is not here. I would
As I
need
said,
to speak to him directly.
if you wish to speak to the dragon god Bahamut, again you must go through prayer or ask a cleric.
Vaszerei, you hear? Well,
Or-
I guess the three of you hear a
Which-
polite cough behind you.
Hell yeah.
Oh, was it her?
There's the cleric. The
I
Asiat.
believe she's the one that you need in order to speak to him.
Well, she tuts as you begin to say that, and she says, "Come now, Miss Pinefall. You've been lying to the lass. You yourself, you've seen the great god Bahamut, have you not? You're chosen."
I have, but I will need some focus in order to speak with him, and unfortunately the matter in which she wishes to discuss is private. Therefore, there is nothing I can really say to him.
Aye, well, truly, anything that is a matter of the soul is between her and her gods. But, and she kind of directs her attention, Kitters, your character sees before you a dragonborn who is dressed in the robes of the priesthood. She is a cleric of Bahamut, and while she is speaking, she is flipping a set of finely carved bone dice in between her fingers. She's flitting them back and forth. And she says, "There's a gathering of the chosen of the great god who have come here. They have proven themselves in his eyes, and they have all been able to meet with him and speak with his likeness. I am sure, given that you are one of the dragon folk, if you prove yourself worthy enough, he will come to you and speak to you."
So, you're saying if I help his church here, I may speak with him.
She gives you a shrug and a wink and tosses one of the bone die in the air, catching it on a tip of her clawed finger and then ruffling it into her hand. And then before you, she opens the hand and there's no die there. She's caused it to disappear, and she says, "It's more like a game of chance. You have to prove that you're willing to take the risk." She tosses out of her sleeve as she whips her other arm up. She flicks one of the bone die that she'd made disappear at Vaszerei, and she says, "By the way, tell that roguish kobold friend of yours he still owes me a few silver pieces."
I will let him know that.
"If you're serious, lady, about speaking to the great god Bahamut, you are in the company of one of his chosen. Perhaps she may guide the way, even if she does not fully understand her place herself."
This cleric friend of yours, Lady Pinefall, is quite what's the word? Seems to take keenly to gambling and irony. I like her.
Yeah, she gives a bow to the king, and he says, "I appreciate the compliment, my lord, and I also appreciate the opportunity to empty the pockets of your tavern attendants when I show up at Sanctuary."
Hell yeah.
And she politely begs her leave.
I've scarcely met a holy person such as like yourself.
I'm sure
Would
we'll get
expect
well
one of
acquainted in
Tiamora
time.
to do such thing, but
Oh,
Yes.
then again, there's nothing to say that she has multiple gods.
The smiling lady is always with me, and Vin would touch or pat the outside of his suit jacket pocket, which is
God damn it.
coincidentally over his heart. Which the suit jacket pocket has a special Timora coin in it. Of all the things mentioned that are in the suit jacket pocket, that is probably the actual thing that's in there.
all other suit jacket pockets are inferior to this one.
Hell yeah.
There's never been a suit jacket pocket like this. Yeah.
It's an inside
Yeah.
joke. Sorry.
Yeah.
She's gonna get it soon enough. We do the whole meme like 17 times a session, so we'll be fine.
That's not true.
That's not wholly true.
I'm not that bad.
It's not just you. It's all of us.
Hell yeah.
Anyways, there you go. Vaszerei, Vinshenzo.
Oh,
Varg.
sorry.
It's the V team. Hell yeah. Got you stuck in with the right ones.
Hell
The V
yeah.
team.
Better than being KKK, I guess.
The Cairona versus the
Jesus
V team.
Christ.
Knight, you're literally a member of K Squad.
I fucking hate it so much.
Wow.
Anyway,
Z.
anyway,
I'm the only
Yes.
non-member of K-Squad.
yes,
Out of the player.
unless there's something else that you need, Vari, I'm sorry to disappoint you, but it will require a bit of work in order to speak with Bahamut.
Did she say her
Unfortunately-
name? Sorry.
The cleric?
No, Vari.
Sorry, no.
Oh, never mind.
She only butchered
Bahamut's name
In
twice.
the name of Christ our Lord.
I think
I'm sorry, Highborn,
Vaszerei is
but
the only one who's been introduced to between the three
I
of you.
have not
Yeah.
revealed. I guess I'll reveal. And
He's
she's
been
would
revealed as
bow
king.
and say, "Pardon my manners. I'm Vinshenzo Cairona."
I'm Vari. I have no last name. And if you, turns back to Vaszerei, are really a chosen, your cleric said you could guide me. What needs to be done for your church that does not involve praying?
well, I plan to take these warriors into combat here very soon. Perhaps combat with some demons. I know that seems a bit hard to believe.
Combat for your god.
In the name of Bahamut and for the good of Ravnica.
As long as it's not some mad killing spree for no reason, I would like to aid you.
Oh please, I know worshipper of Tiamat, so you not need to worry of such things.
She just stares blankly.
You may join me if you wish. Well, I'm sure the others will begin wondering where we're at. We should get moving now. Please,
Oh,
you may
yeah.
join us, Vari.
Chill makes a good point. Kidders, your character would know just from the happenstance of being here. This is a fairly I don't want to say it's like 9/11 because that's bad because we're referencing New York a lot, but I guess that's kind of what it is. like the equivalent of like some crazy series of terrorist attacks and stuff on this against the city have been going on like the past week or two. Well, no, it was 2 weeks ago. That a series of like crazy attacks happened. So you're generally aware that there's like mistrust and security like tensions in the city somehow. People are doing acts of violence on a major scale.
So that'd make her more likely to assume they're just killing randomly in the name of their god.
Maybe, I mean, it's up to,
She
it's up
didn't
to you how
like she
how you,
didn't say like what exactly they're doing. She just said they're going to into combat.
100%. I'm just giving you like environmental context of like the city situation. Nobody's come out right and claimed to know who did or why they did these attacks.
If
It's just
she
known.
if
Yeah.
she is aware of who Bahamut is as a deity, Bahamut would his like morale or his values would want order restored in the city and rule.
He doesn't actually know much about him.
Oh, okay.
She asked around for powerful magical beings and was constantly told about the god there since she's a dragonborn.
Oh my god.
Vaszerei is going to try and speak quietly to Vinshenzo if she can manage to get some whispers into him. I don't think I have the... No, I don't want to use the earring of message. Jeez, that'd be a fucking waste.
Well, Vari's gonna still be standing away from you, so I don't think she'd hear you whispering.
With her 23% passive perception, she would
And my-
very much
And
hear.
my fucking 10, I'll never even know that she noticed.
With that 23 passive, you can hear everybody.
I
Vaszerei can't
noticed
hear anything with
Vaszerei
it.
isn't using her inside voice.
Doesn't mean she's gonna be rude and eavesdrop on this child.
God damn it. I can't
You
believe
would
this is
probably
happening.
have seen kobolds around the city.
Actually, aren't they pretty
No.
rare?
No, they're
pretty rare.
actually... Yeah, they basically hang out at the
She
church.
would also actively avoid anything that looks like it has any dragon blood. So she wouldn't have really gone up to a kobold and been like, "What the heck are you?"
Hell yeah.
Where's your parents?
My lord, I have some concerns.
She also likes to keep to herself. So
What are your concerns, Lady Pinefall? You should be
Are you
happy.
aware- Oh, I am happy. Happy to have one join one of Bahamut.
It
However,
is good fortune she did not wander into the Temple of Tiamat.
truly, I think she'd find herself more lost and more overwhelmed with whatever lies of strength they give,
Or worse.
or worse.
They're not overly fond of strangers anymore at that Temple of Tiamat.
She's certainly the
was
chromatic
considered
color
shit.
too, which is a little concerning, but even of other highborn, they can still be one with Bahamut.
Surely. But your concern?
Yes, my concern. I am unsure if she's some sort of tribal.
It's possible. What with the calamity and whatnot.
Why I say this is, well, how familiar are you with typical kobold tribes, you could say?
How familiar am I?
Yeah.
I am not.
Well, I would say in some cultures, at least for kobolds, that kobolds generally form into warrens or in a den, usually centered around a dragon. I'm kind of wondering if her case is not too different and she found herself a dragon, and as such is her god. It's probably not even a real god. But to her, it would be.
Perhaps.
It's simply my curiosity. But then again, if we are all from different realms, these places all work so differently that I cannot tell if it is truth or a lie.
It does not matter, Lady Pinefall. You worry yourself too much.
No, I worry not. It was more of a curiosity. Now,
I have dealt with tribals, and even when they were trying to murder me, I was able to reason with them and show them good manners and hospitality.
what are you speaking of?
I remember what he's speaking of.
An event before I met you. I was alone out in some godforsaken wildland, and Carlos and the rest of us were separated. And they were trying to... a few of them found me and were trying to kill me. So I took them prisoner, but I gave them bread and spoke to them.
I see. And what did they think of that bread, my lord?
It is a manner of speaking, breaking bread. It was some ration from probably Vales or Nancon. I don't.
Back in the day. Okay. Are you guys intent on setting back out to the Colosseum?
That is my plan.
Hell yeah.
So, Vaszerei, Vari, and Vinshenzo
Wait,
on the... Oh,
is
waiting.
is Vari coming?
She said she would come.
Hell yeah.
That is correct.
Hell yeah. Okay. So
I would like to do something, though.
Okay, what would you like to do?
I will turn to Vari, and I'll pull my special Timora coin out of my suit
Ooh.
jacket pocket and say, you find yourself in good fortune from time to time. And I'll flick her the coin and say, she is always around us.
What?
Searching for a powerful being. What about the power of good fortune?
That is not the kind of power I need.
Oh.
Now you're
Shot
starting to
down.
understand me. Fuck's sake.
What,
God damn it,
what
man.
better power is there?
I merely need the help of a god, not the help of fortune.
The smiling lady is a god of sorts.
I don't believe so. Not one I have heard of.
Vaszerei tries to hold back some sort of chuckle.
Oh, okay. When she's disrespecting my god, it's okay.
I mean, that's basically Vaszerei.
She's gonna disrespect everybody's gods.
I know. Vaszerei's being mean. I
Very
wasn't
mean kobold.
Well,
She also doesn't even realize she's disrespecting them.
hold on to that coin. It may come in handy when you most need it.
What is it? Just some good luck token.
In a manner of speaking, yes.
Thank you. I will hold on to it for now.
You might want to give her the card, a card or
Don't
something.
put that in your
What it
coin purse, because then it'll go with all the other coins, and it'll just be another coin, which it is.
What? She just stares at it very confused.
In time, you will understand.
It's special. I'm sorry. Never mind. I don't think anybody got it.
I did,
Okay.
but I don't count.
I take it back then. I don't take the coin back. I take back what I said. It's good luck when you need it most. Do you activate it by flipping it? Flip the coin when you need it most. I don't know. I haven't used it yet.
I'm not quite sure how it works, but it's pretty good, I've been told.
I haven't used it, but I swear it worked. Trust me.
Precisely what the wording was that I gave you, but it might be a good idea to have it written down.
Brand new, never been used. Out of the box. It is a coin that gives you a, if you know the lucky feat. Cedric had the lucky feat. So you can basically just give yourself advantage if you want. Well, if you get like a roll that you don't like, you can say you're using your lucky dice before the outcome is stated of the roll, and you can roll again. You can do that 3 times a day. Or no, you can use that 3 times and then it has to be recharged somehow. That only Vinshenzo and I think maybe Paelias know. Oh no, I think I inspected that myself and I found out. I'm not smart, I'm just lucky.
Anymore if you go around giving away all your lucky coin.
It may come in handy today, of all days.
Here. That way you have a copy of what it does as well.
Oh, did I have a copy and I didn't give it? Sorry.
No, I just wrote a note card out real quick while you were explaining it, so that way it was written down somewhere that was easy to access, just in case.
I have a question about the coin. If somebody uses all 3 uses of it, does it like disappear, or it's just not able to be used?
I believe it was a silver coin.
Oh.
That had the face of Timora on both sides, or whatever it is, like that specific icon of Timora. Like it's an actual coin.
Yeah.
A metal. So
The
it looks like a regular
Timora
coin.
is literally a lady's face on a coin.
Yeah, so it's that, but 2 sides.
Hell yeah.
Both sides. One side she's smiling, and one side she's sad.
Hell yeah.
And it doesn't revert into anything. And because you haven't used it, you haven't worn out the charges yet, so you're not quite sure what happens next.
Hell yeah.
It just explodes.
You are aware of like how it's done and all that kind of stuff.
You get very lucky and then you die.
At least you were lucky for a moment.
Yeah.
Luck unto death. So yeah, so you guys head to the Colosseum with your column of dudes.
Yep.
Column to Colosseum. As you guys are
Hell yeah.
marching around, Paelias, are you back from your bathroom break?
No.
Shit. Okay, well I was gonna switch over to them, but
I do not march, I just walk.
out of curiosity, Carlos, what's the scheme of events here? You want to wait until the evening, because I know you said 10 p.m. is when you want to enact.
Well, when are the events of the Colosseum occurring?
In the evening.
Yeah,
Around,
I
like-
kind of wanted to coincide with like the climax of the Colosseum events, and like after the bank is like shut down for the day, and after like the last transports arrived, like right around then.
Yeah. So I have it here that you want it to be 10 p.m. because that's what we decided because we discussed this last time.
Okay.
Out of curiosity for like when do you want to start getting in position and getting ready, or is there anything you want to like meet the spies and give them specific directions beforehand? Anything like the deployment? You have all the background prep work done, but I'm just curious about how your like deployment and action strategy is gonna look for that side.
So they're aware of like the plan, right?
Yeah, you briefed
Okay.
them, and then they.
How many
briefed their guys.
agents do I have at my disposal?
Sorry, just got a slice of pizza. You got 5 agents who are going to go in with you, and then there's another 5 that are going to be like watching the perimeter, kind of watching your back. And basically, in my head, you have the 5 guys who are going to be watching the perimeter. They're already in stakeout mode. They're basically like doing a carbon copy of what you did to get all of your intel on the bank. They're doing that now. So they're in place. They're doing all the observation. They're set up and ready to go.
Cool.
And then the 5 guys with their burgers and fries are going to meet you at whatever point you want so that they can help you enact your plan. So they're briefed on whatever you need them to do. So count them as whatever you want them to do. They would have already known, because I assume you would have already Carlos would have already gone over that with them.
Yeah.
In some detail. So they're briefed and they're ready. Just
cool.
Wherever you want them to be, they will happen to be there, because it's kind of like prior knowledge.
Cool. All right. So basically, once it's go time, we're pretty much going to ambush whatever door guard there is, and then like provide kind of cover for Paelias while he does his magic stuff. Then from there, they're pretty much just gonna follow Carlos in and do whatever he needs them to do.
Hell yeah.
Kind of hard to say without being in there, you know?
Yeah, I know. It gives me a good idea, though. All right, so the column arrives at the Coliseum. It's about 6 o'clock at night ish. The sky is beginning to darken, minus the writhing and the roiling of the great calamitous eye in the sky. FYI, kidders, there is no sun and moon. There's just a big nebulous orb of magic that is
big fuck off orb.
Constantly going crazy up in the sky.
Wonderful.
And it at night it kind of looks like the Aurora Borealis. And then during the day, somehow we still get blue skies, because it is what it is. But there's that just crazy weird thing up there. Sometimes it's very quiet. Sometimes it's very loud and noisy. And when I say loud and noisy, I mean currently as it is, a writhing tumult of nebulae colors that are just going mayhem across the sky, kind of like a fireworks show and an oil spill stuck into one. So that's kind of happening in the evening sky above you guys as you're marching and moving into the vicinity of the Coliseum. And there are huge lineups of people. The entire plaza outside the Coliseum is packed with common folk, with Azorius policemen. Boros legionnaires are there in force. You also see some shadier folks, some vendors. People are going around doing little pickpocket schemes. All this crazy stuff is going all at once. And they're all starting to filter into the Coliseum itself. Looks like she's going to be packed today, boys. A Super Bowl Sunday in New Ravnica. As soon as you sort of reach the rear of the crowd, and it quickly becomes difficult to move forward at any productive pace. I'll leave you to decide if you want to just wait patiently for your turn to get in, or if you want to do something else. This is the scene you encounter upon arrival at your destination. It's your plan, Vaszerei. I'm not really sure if you just want to like let everybody in the Coliseum and then you guys gonna like attack of the clones, reveal yourselves at the like ideal moment and just start like going ham, or how you really want to do things, because
Kind of thinking that the Attack of the Clones thing is probably going to be the only way to go about this, because if we were to go in right now, it'd be considered assault, and
I let Vaszerei lead.
I'd rather not have that kind of image of Bahamut's warrior.
Yeah.
Looks bad.
Also, is
It
there
really
anybody I
does
should
look
be like looking out for? Or...
Anybody in particular? I wasn't able to passively percept or any of that last time. Maybe you might be able to find something that I didn't. I was trying to look for cultists or strange figures that were going back and forth. It's just my eyesight not as good as you, my lord.
Somehow, even though.
Sure, I'll give a cursory glance about to see if anybody's up to no good more than the usual amounts of no good.
Precisely.
Solemnly swear.
However, my fear is this, that this Colosseum is about to be involved with the cataclysm over there.
I do love the crunch that happens when I drop them down. If you're gonna be percepting, I'd like you to roll perception.
Okay.
Quelle surprise.
Oh, that is a 32.
Oh wow,
Ooh.
that's some good old percepting right there.
You've perceived much, my friend. Much in many things. Ow. 32 is gonna look like. So give me an idea of what sorts of things might attract your, like, what kinds of activities might attract your eye most? Because with a 32, like, there's a lot of people. You see basically everything. So
Okay.
we get that part out of the way.
Okay. I'm looking for not like common criminals that are pickpocketing and doing that kind of stuff. I'm looking for like more like people who are like out of place and seem to be like doing normal thing, like oh, this guy's like loading a wagon full of heavy boxes, but it's in a spot that doesn't make sense or something, or
People who are not bending their knees and lifting empty boxes.
they're not using their lift belts.
It's not OSHA approved, sir. Deadly. Okay,
Lift belts
so
are
you
so
see.
fucking stupid, by the way. I'm sorry.
I've never heard of these ones, but I'm really glad to know that they're as stupid as they sound. So you know a little bit of what to look for from prior knowledge, which is really helping you out in this instance.
Hell yeah.
You are aware of the whole gravity of the situation. You're also aware of the fact that there are losers by the name of House Demir who like to spy on things. You know that the cult of Rakdos, their specific like jobs and the way they go about things, and you keep your eye out for that. And you notice that there are a number of eyes of spies who are trying to remain inconspicuous, who are watching you. Some have vantage points in the buildings around the perimeter of the plaza. They're kind of noticing the big block of armor and scales that is entered into the premises of the plaza, and they look like Dimir agents. They do the same kind of things. It's what you're used to now. Carlos's experience, your like deal with all of the spy stuff recently has got you tuned in. You see them. You also notice that a couple of the vendors, very sleek, just noticeable enough that you 100% tell that they are armed and they are armored underneath their vendors' clothes. There's also a party of laborers who seem to be, for whatever reason, at 6 o'clock at night, they're still like working on trying to clear what looks like a huge like mud puddle. They're trying to fill it in with gravel, but they're not really like making any progress. And as you scan around, you just notice that there's just kind of one guy who's raking the same few patches, and he's not actually spreading around any gravel. And they have a couple of long, thin crates that haven't been opened. They definitely look a little bit too robust for them to be just crates of shovels. Be kind of weird to have shovels in crates, so not sure why they're there. You're uniquely and keenly aware of the fact that not only are there the regular Colosseum gladiator guards that are watching the front entrance with the classic circus actor Rakdos and sort of greeters that are filtering people through the lines, but in the rafters on the outside of the Colosseum, there are men, minotaurs, and what look to be elves, sort of watching from the shadowy recesses of the rafters on the outside of the Colosseum, and many of them have ranged weapons.
Wow.
And they're trying to conceal them, or they're trying to stay themselves sort of like, they got a good vantage point, but they're not standing right at the window. They're a little bit farther back where the darkness of I don't know what that's called. Those like balconies that run the width of an exterior of the building, and he's one of them. They're just kind of hiding in the shadows there. So the 32, you can see there's a lot of like guys and gals that are ready for something to go down, but they're like.
And this is just on the outside of the Colosseum, right?
This is just on the outside. This is within the plaza and the Colosseum exterior that you can see as you're like slowly morphing into the throng of people who are trying to get into the Colosseum to see the action. You have this entrance here and this entrance here that you can see. I'll use Vaszerei as the marker for roughly there is where you guys are now.
Hell yeah.
And the group of you. So you're like, yeah, you can filter to this one, or you can come around to this, which is the main entrance. It's up to you. But the whole like thing around here, as far as you can see, is packed and busy with people trying to get in.
Gotcha. Can I have get a rough estimate of like how many hostile agents are in the vicinity?
You got at least a dozen within visual eyesight on the balcony's exterior. There are there's upwards of 20 guards at the main entrance. There's fewer. There's 10 guards at the side entrance closest to you.
And those are like Rakdos guards, not like city guards.
They're like
not
the
like the militia or whatever. Yeah,
they're the Colosseum security. You also have about a dozen spies that are like spread throughout. There's a few, let's say like 6 in the crowd, another 6 who seem to be like, smoking a pipe on the deck in front of their apartment building, like condo unit kind of there. There's a few that are sort of wandering around or tying their shoes forever. And you see another bunch of Rakdos, sort of like the workers who aren't working, in about a dozen of them too.
I'll turn to Vaszerei, or I won't even turn, just as we're walking. I will also cautiously put a hand over my face as I mutter these words. But I'll say, I do hope, I'll say, I do hope we can resolve this without violence. It seems, just from the outside appearance, it seems that not only, well, this shouldn't surprise you, that many are aware of us and are quite outnumbered.
You say we quite outnumbered.
Yes. You and your clergy here. And me. And
Yeah.
Miss Vari.
Miss Vary.
Hello to our losing battle.
I'll
The battle that
bow-
hasn't
I'll-
even started.
I'll bow to Vari and say, you wouldn't happen to know any potential new members of the temple?
No.
That's a shame.
What is
As
your
the-
goal here? Is this not supposed to be some kind of happy event?
I'll fold my hands neatly behind my back and say, I don't have the slightest idea, really. Just that
I'll
something...
remind you that, like, on top of your group, there's also, like, army and police that are entirely visible, which unfortunately means they're really easy for everybody to see where they are.
How many are we in number strong?
You, including the feds, you're so you have 15 plus 16, so you got like 31 friends from the order.
Not including
can
the
see-
kobolds.
No, that's including the kobolds.
Oh, fuck.
There's 16 kobolds. There are 15 dragonborn paladins. So there's 31 extra chosen, not including the Vaszerei kobold. There are 2 platoons worth of Boros legionnaires that you can see, roughly like 40 guys.
Hell yeah.
They are formed into 3 columns of legionnaires, which you can see sort of here over here. It's the Boros legionnaires. And supporting them, they have Minotaur berserkers, and they're led by an officer angel.
Hell yeah.
So they're like fairly heavily represented in terms of they're out in strength. You're also where there are law enforcement patrols of the Azorius, and they are teams, loosely organized teams of about 5 enforcers. They're called arresters, and they have 2 guild mages, guild pact mages that are there for like basically like the magical side of law enforcement.
Yeah,
They're the magic
I'm not
points.
saying like we're immediately outnumbered. Vin is just saying like,
I know what you're saying as a
Yeah.
character. I'm just giving you the player an understanding of sort of the numbers on both sides, because I know that kind of factors into the player's estimate of how fucked he is.
yeah, just judging by the immediate vicinity, because we're not even in the Colosseum yet. Vin is determining that, yeah, it could be rough. If it comes to blows.
Yeah, that's what you got. And that's in your your 1/4, well, I guess kind of like 1/2 of the rectangle that is the Colosseum. So you guys are gonna filter your way into the stands. Vaszerei, so you said your plan is to attack the clones this shit?
It's the plan.
Okay. So it takes you about, was it 6 I said it was? So it takes you about like an hour and a half to get in the Colosseum, and by this time the day has darkened and the night has been lit by the roiling chaotic eye. I don't know where the losers are. We don't need the full thing. We don't need it at super max HD DnD style. But there you go. Here's the Colosseum. It's nighttime, so it's dark.
Oh.
Oh. Grid not to scale. So actually we'll
It's
turn
a
off the
shame that our enemies are made up quite numerously by Drow.
It's much more like nicely lit than this, but we're
Oh, here goes my PTSD again. I'm not the proper
You weren't
character.
there.
You weren't
Wasn't
there. You don't have to worry about it this time. It's just Vinshenzo.
Just in another life.
It's the
It's
exact
me.
same place.
So I'll just friggin' you guys can like place these guys wherever. They spread themselves out because that's what you said you wanted them to do. So there's a whole bunch of kobolds take sort of the upper places where they can get good vantage if they need to shoot at stuff, and the Urds can spread their wings and fly. The paladins, entirely decked out in their holy armor, not disguised whatsoever or hidden under anything, are sort of like mixed about randomly, evenly-ish dispersed amongst the stadium followers,
Just here to
stadium
show.
crowd. It's fine. There's other guys in armor too. Like it's not like they're the only ones who are dressed for battle. Like there's a whole mix and melange of people in attendance. The stadium is packed. Like even the viewing balconies are like packed with throngs of people. And as the event, which nobody really knows what's going to happen still. You haven't found out exactly what it is. You just know that something crazy cool is going to happen or crazy big is going to happen. And it seems like nobody else is either. As the crowd they're eagerly like guessing and betting and pondering out loud as to what's going to happen. And you see Vaszerei specifically sees the worst thing she probably wants to see, which is
Hell yeah.
a very specific member of the cult strutting out to center stage of the Colosseum grounds. Vari, this is the first time it's going to be described to you. Vinshenzo, you know who this is. What appears to be a harlequin dressed in sort of exactly that, the harlequin's dancing costume with checker patterned legging and sleeve, and the other one is striped with different colors and such. She's got a blood red form-fitting tunic, and her hair has been tied back in a long conical ribbon, ending in a comically large bow, as she struts out onto the center field of the Colosseum, which has been cleared and kind of rot down to dirt. All of the grass that was once there is gone. She very dramatically touches her hand to her throat, and she calls out in a booming voice, "Welcome! Welcome one and all to the night you'll never forget!" She is met with big cheers and applause. And she goes through to describe that this is going to be a celebration of New Ravnica at its finest, as we as a city have been through many months of trial and tribulation since we have gone through this calamitous day that brought us all here to this new world. But finally we can say that this is truly our home. And what better way to honor our new home than to celebrate it with games and festivities and joy. And with that, she spreads her hands, and upon all of the big statues that are lining the Colosseum, they light up with fireworks that blast off into the sky and sparkle and twirl with icons of the different guilds, as well as fantastical beasts and creatures and explosions of light and color. And she struts off stage amidst this while everybody is sort of preoccupied with the crazy fireworks. And running out past her are a troupe of performers on a variety of very interestingly mixed beast. You see some familiar ones, vagabonds, vagabond veterans. They look like dinosaurs. Lomp and rumble around. They're painted up, and they have clowns and acrobats who are dancing among them, and they perform a whole bunch of interesting tricks to the musical accompaniment of a band that's hidden up here. They're playing fun, festive music for all to see. And we're gonna fast forward through the 3-hour performance because maybe not what you guys were 100% expecting to come into. Is a combination of a circus combined with some pretty intense, like there's some jousting with Warforged boxing mixed in, and a whole bunch of like crazy performances that keep the crowd well and truly entertained. There is no big bowling, but there is giant sumo wrestling.
Hell yeah.
Pair of really big fat giants just start tussling in the dirt, and in the middle of this crazy like wrestling match, some very foolish looking clowny figure who dresses in an incredibly like silly wizard's costume starts casting magic that creates a rain cloud over top that creates like a huge downpour in the center of the ring, so the giants start like tripping and slipping around in the mud, much to the raucous joy of many people. And as this entire experience is winding up, Paelias and Carlos assembled for their Go mission, Super Team Alpha, Break the Bank. Coliseum is well and truly like into it, and it's go time. I'm gonna keep that there because it's cool. All right, so you two are in place. You have your 5 007 agents. I'm just gonna keep calling them that because they're cool.
Hell yeah.
You get your 5 007 agents. It's dark, and you are witnessing the. I think your step off point was you're waiting for the money exchange to happen.
Yeah.
And then let them do their exchange and then leave so that the security vanishes. And then when it calms down, I believe that's when you were ready to make your move.
Something like that.
So the guards that have replaced like the daytime security, they're just your regular sort of Orzhov bank guard enforcers. They wear chainmail. They have what looks to be kind of like billy clubs, as well as buckler shields. And they stand about. There's 2 of them at the back door that you're very intent on acquiring, and there's a further 2 of them who are standing outside the wagon door. You see a further patrol of proper Orzhov Syndic soldiers that are slowly, that they're going to slowly meander around the perimeter, and they usually stop around here for a smoke, and then usually like go over here for a couple minutes to just chit chat and speak to another patrol who's doing their rounds of the guild headquarters. Fairly sort of mundane stuff. You've seen these guys do it for so many times now. You got this playing down to like clockwork.
Hell yeah. So the wagon already went in and left and everything, right?
Came and went. You're at your desired starting point. You're ready to go. You got 5 guys. There's 2 elves, 1 Vedalken, and 2 humans as your 00 agents, and they're all dressed for action appropriately with good. I don't want to say form-fitting because I've said that way too many times, but like nothing loose that's going to catch on things.
Yeah.
Properly stealthed up. They're wearing dark colors. They got all their toolkits and knives and such accessible.
Hell yeah. Okay, so there's 2 guards at the back door, 2 guards at the wagon entrance.
Yes, sir.
Can the wagon entrance see the back door?
Nope. It's around the doors around the corner and the entrance. Like that's enough of a distance they can't see there.
All right. Carlos would ask Paelias if he has anything available that they could use to quickly dispatch those 2 guards quietly at the back door.
For a general understanding of distance, there's about 50 feet between wall to wall of this. It's not an alleyway. It's like a miniature plaza in and of itself. So it's about 50 feet from building to building. So that's the open space that you have to cross.
Something subtle, right?
Yes.
Thunderwave.
I can attempt to paralyze them.
Anything we could use to get them out of sight quickly. What can we tell what race they are right now?
Those are 2 men.
2 men. So males, that's all we can tell? Or humans?
2 male humans.
Okay. Because I'm thinking this. We take care of them quietly. We have 2 of our agents take their place at the door in their garb, and then no one's the wiser.
How kitted are these guys? Are they like militia guys or are they like knights?
These guys are like kind of standard corporate security. They don't have plate armor or nothing, and they're carrying like clubs with buckler shields. And
They look like basic bitch security guys.
Yeah, they're like fucking after-hours security that is stuck on after hours because they probably pissed somebody off.
It's the night shift. You don't want to really be on the night shift unless you like being a degenerate and you like, you go inside for your 15-minute break and you just roll dice for 30 minutes.
Shit, maybe we should just bribe them.
Honestly, the easiest thing I could probably do is cast Hold Person on the 2 of them. They would be frozen in place and wouldn't be able to speak.
Would they be able to see?
Yes.
Yeah.
Can we move them?
Yeah.
Yes.
Sounds like a plan. So here's what's going to happen. Once the patrol has finished going around the corner, you'll use your little magic thing and hold them in place or whatever. We'll quickly run up. You'll do whatever magic you need to make sure we get inside unnoticed. I'm sure they have some kind of magical security. And then, after that, as I said, 2 of our men will replace them. We'll bring these ones inside, tie them up, gag them, and by the time they are ever noticed, we'll be long gone.
All right. Well, upon signal, I will cast Hold Person as a 3rd level spell. That will be a DC 20 Wisdom save from both of the guards.
DC 20 Wisdom save. Gotcha.
Watch them both get nat 20s.
These guys were the ones who chose the night shift because they actually they drank the Kool-Aid and they believe.
They're actually Batman.
They're well paid and they have insurance. I really hope that's not what happens. There we go. Okay, DC 20 Wisdom save, you said?
Yes.
Okay. Here we go.
Will they know if you failed?
I don't 100% know if they'll know somebody cast a spell on it if they...
It will say in the spell text if they do notice it. says nothing if they don't.
Did anyone succeed?
No, neither of them succeeded.
Okay. They can make subsequent saves on following turns, but I assume Carlos is going to knock them the fuck out before that.
Yeah, I'm gonna signal my guys. We're gonna move up and knock him out and tie him up, and let Paelias take a look at the door and make sure he can disable it, whatever magic. And when that's done, we'll pick a lock if necessary and get inside.
Hell yeah. All right, so you, your 5 homies, and Paelias, you guys like sprint across the alley in the dark. You line up. The two of them, the two of the first guys, they deal with the guards. They're going to take their place, you said?
Yes, the 2 men will take their place.
So the 2 men busy themselves. You're going to let them handle this their own way, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
They're
Okay, so
professionals.
they basically they tie up the guys to make sure that the spell isn't the only thing holding them back. They gag the guys and they go drag them off into the alley. And then about I don't know, let's say 4 or 5 agonizing minutes later, they come back properly dressed in every detail that is needed.
Perfect.
Like 2 guards who hate being on night shift.
In that time, I take it Paelias is going to be doing his thing on the door.
Yeah. I'm going to do 2 things. I'm going to first use my 6th level spell slot to cast Truth Seeing on myself, granting myself True Sight for 120 feet of True Sight for an hour. No concentration.
Damn.
It lets me see in the dark, whether it's magical or not. It lets me see invisible. It lets me automatically see through illusions. I see secret doors hidden by magic. I can see into the ethereal plane. I can see everything.
You're the DM. You have DM vision for an hour.
Yeah. And
Damn.
aside from that, I'm going to cast Ritual Cast Detect Magic,
Deadly.
which
Okay.
I will do at normal speed with my 1 per long rest thing.
How long does that take? Like a minute?
I think it might just be an action.
If it's ritual, it adds yeah.
Yeah, but I can cast it at a ritual spell at normal speed
Alright.
without adding the 10 minutes once for long rest.
That's neat.
Yeah, one action. So
He does 1 Hail Mary and then it's all okay. So, Paelias, you see everything. But what everything currently entails, I'll give you the priority stuff that's most relevant to your situation, and then as you ask about things, I will reveal them. Or if there's so you can see things that are invisible. You can see basically you have night vision effectively.
are there
And
any
you have
secret
night vision.
doors or illusions within 120 feet of me? Is basically
There are
what
several
I'm
illusions higher up. Every single window every single window that you can see is lit up. The door is lit up by whatever magic alarm is. The lock itself is lit as well. The only reason I don't like detect magic is because now I have to look up all the friggin' magic schools.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, inconveniencing the DM.
Hell yeah. So yeah,
I
there's
believe alarm is
abjuration.
abjuration, yeah.
Yep. So yeah, all of the windows are abjuration. The door is abjuration. The lock itself is individually abjurationed, so it's it's its own different highlighted thing. As well as there is a shimmering aura that kind of looks like an umbrella above the roof of the of the guild hall, or not the guild hall, but the bank. You can kind of see it overhead if you happen to look up. Those are the relevant things on the outside of the building.
Okay. I am going to cast. Let me just double check. The spell magic is action. I'm going to dispel magic on the door and the lock.
All right. They fade into mundane reality. And they are no longer magically lit. I think you can see through them anyways. Oh no, sorry, that's the ethereal plane.
Yeah.
Friggin', that's such a good spell.
Yeah.
The door is a door. It's
The
regular.
door is
It's
now a
not
door. I've taken care of the magic on the door and the lock.
Very good. Carlos would test the door. Is it locked mundanely?
Yes, it is locked mundanely. Looks like they're redundant here.
Well, I'm gonna pick that bitch.
Hell yeah.
Where's my fucking okay? Taking it sleight of hand. That's 26.
Oh wow. You bring out your lockpicking set, you jiggle for a moment, you jiggle to the left, you jiggle to the right, you jiggle up and down, and click, it opens.
Hell
And you
yeah.
just push it in, and it slides open like a greased pig. It just good. She's fine. And inside the door, you see a coat room, a mudroom, with a whole bunch of with a set of cabinets or a set of shelves facing one wall, some armor racks, which are all full of armor, with little paper labels on them, and you see some boxes with a bunch of paper labels on them. It's all people's names. Most of those boxes are empty, save two, where there's tunic and pants, and a few other odd objects, probably the belongings of those few guards that are on duty.
Outstanding.
It's about a 20 by 20 room. So it's not big, but not small either. And Paelias, because you're standing there, you can see inside. You can tell that the next door is abjured. There's only one door into the rest of the building. It is abjured as well.
Is there any lock on it that is abjured, or is it just the door?
Just the door.
There's magic on this door, too.
Can you get rid of it?
Yeah. And I will dispel magic on it as well.
Hell yeah. So that's 2 times door disarmed. And you got 3 agents that have filed in. They've been watching the other directions. They've been pulling 360 security while you guys were doing your thing. And
Love
they file in.
Copy. So yeah, once he removes the abjuration on the door, I guess we'll go through the door.
Hell yeah.
We're gonna
Yeah.
close the door behind us, obviously.
That's a good idea. So you close the door behind you. There is a lot less fixed magic in here, Paelias. However, with your true sight, you can tell that there are wandering magical things moving about the hallways around you.
Oh, so invisible things?
Some are invisible, and some you can see with detect magic.
Okay. Can I see what they are, or make intent to see what they are?
Some of them are highlighted with conjuration. The invisible things you can tell are the odd, strange homunculi-like creatures that the Orshov call thralls. There's one that actually is kind of at the far end of this. You got a very long, almost seems like a perimeter hallway. You're kind of at very close to a 90-degree corner. And down on your right-hand side, you see one. It is a tiny-looking thrall, and it is effectively a hunchbacked infant. And it has a tiny broom, and it's just sweeping along the floor.
Do I know if they're capable of speech
I'll get you to roll
or
history.
intelligent? Or are they? Sorry, what do you want me to roll?
History.
That's a 12.
You know that some can. You know that most don't. Like the Orzhovs make these, and they don't need these cretins to speak. Speaking is not a part of sweeping, so therefore it should not.
They're basically menial slave labor.
Yeah, they're used as like playthings. They're the trivial little like messengers. They're the warehouse like the little box delivery guys that sort and do things. They're the ones that like if you got really nice fancy formal robes on, they're the ones that stop the trailing ends of your robes from touching the floor because the floor is dirty. And you have like little trains of them that are like they're that kind of thing. They are just tiny little manufactured servants.
This whole time I thought the floor was lava.
The floor is dirty. It's basically
Well, I will
lava for
convey
most
this
people.
to Carlos, including the whole they're not very intelligent kind of menial labor.
Do we need to worry about them setting off an alarm?
Maybe, but there's a lot of them.
Well, I hope it isn't the case then. Are we in the vault area, vault map proper yet, or are we still approaching the vault map?
You're at the surface, but because you've been standing still for a second, they give you an option. You go right or you can go forward. Actually, you don't need to worry about an option because one of the agents tells you we gotta go left and then along the corridor. It'll take us to where the unloading docks are for the caravans. He said that should give us access to the vault.
Very well. Let's get underway. Carlos would lead the way down the left and down the corridor, making sure to glance at Paelias every once in a while to make sure he isn't about to be like, oh my god, something bad, with his true vision.
The most that you guys you really just don't really encounter anything here. The most that you see in terms of your environment, this is a lot of where like the the administrative side of an actual functioning bank is. There's like little office cubicles where clerks do their paperwork and like the managers hold their meetings with respective clients and such like that. There's hallways and sub hallways with little office booths. There's a few like cleaning closets. There's a little kitchenette where the staff eat their lunch. But eventually you get to a pair of double doors, and these are a set of wooden double doors which are not alarmed or anything. However, beyond, Paelias is able to tell that there's a whole bunch of other abjuration magic as well as what seems like conjuration spell that has been cast somewhere. Well, not somewhere. It's up and to your left of the next room, because you can see through. I can't remember how much you can see through, but I think it's at least like a few inches.
Hold on, I have it here somewhere. Detect magic.
Detect magic. So
1 foot of stone, 1 inch of common metal, 10 feet of lead, or 3 feet of wood and dirt.
yeah, so that's within those ranges because it's just regular interior walls.
Yeah. Well, I convey that to Carlos, and I let him take the lead because he's the sneaky one.
All this magic stuff, what exactly does it mean?
Don't touch it.
Well, conjuration is straightforward. That summons things. As for abjuration, it's usually defensive or alarm spells and things of that nature.
All right, I suppose we'll take a look. And you said it's like through a door or something on the other side?
Yeah.
There's a set of wooden double doors in front of you, and Paelias is able to see beyond those wooden double doors the stuff that was described.
What a
Well,
lucky
I
boy.
can sense the magic on the other side.
Lucky boy. All right. I guess Carlos is gonna peek through the double doors quietly.
Okay. You see that you are in, I'm going to call it an airlock because there's doors to your right, doors to your left. The doors to your right are also wooden. This is through Carlos's perception, so I ain't using any magical description. On your left is a big iron door with iron bars that are blocking the rest of it. So it's sort of like a prison cell, except but not. It's a very ornate, more like a cage wall. Beyond that, because you got fancy little sneaky eyes,
I do.
you see a very large stairway that leads down into something. Above that, because I know you have good perception, you see the icon of Orzhov with what looks like the head of three little beasts sticking up from the outside of the icon, and it's carved in stone above the iron door.
I tell Paelias about the three stone heads. I presume that's some sort of magical alarm system. You said you saw something up there, right?
I take a peek on it.
That is the conjuration thing on the icon. The iron door is abjured, and the wooden double doors on the other side are abjured.
You said conjuration on the symbol with that had the three heads?
Yeah.
Like, are stone heads like gargoyles?
No, they're just like indiscriminate little like monster heads. You can roll if you want, but they're just kind of like vague little like stone carvings of creatures. Nondescript.
I will share this with Carlos, and I will say that I can dispel the magic on both, but the more magic I dispel up front, the less magic I'll have to use later.
Yes, but you know what they say. Ounce of prevention. How much magic do you have left in you, my good friend?
For simpler things, quite a lot. For magic dispelling or advanced stuff, maybe 5 more times.
I see. I'm presuming that the abjurations on the doors are some kind of alarm system, so those definitely need to be dispelled. For the purpose of these gargoyles, do you have any idea?
Can I make an Arcana roll or a History roll to?
Yeah, I'll let you roll Arcana.
Hey,
Magic.
the thing I'm super good at.
It's magical oriented, so maybe
29.
29. Okay. This appears to be, by your incredible observation and expertise in magic, this appears to be some sort of a trap that, when set off, is going to summon 3 of something. You've decided 3 of something because that's how many like nondescript creatures there are that are like ringing the icon. Likelihood is, yeah.
Can I determine if the abjuration and the conjuration are tied to each other?
They are, in fact. But one must be curious to know what happens if they're cut. What happens if the tie is cut?
I will let Carlos know this, and then I will let him decide if I dispel one, none, or both.
That is a tough question. Because if the gate triggers the gargoyles, then by disabling the gate, the gargoyles would no longer be a threat. But if the gate is merely an alarm, the gargoyles might be trapped. It seems like disabling the gate might be the safer option, because either way, we're going to have to go through it. But if the gate is also an alarm, if we don't disable it, then someone might be alerted to our presence. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Well, I will signal everyone to get ready in case something goes wrong, and then I will cast Dispel Magic on the door. Actually, before I do that, are there any like normal people in the room? Because I don't remember if we checked for that.
No, the room is empty. I know.
Okay.
Sorry, if there was someone, I would have said there was somebody.
Yeah.
If I don't mention specifically that there are people, assume there are not.
Well, in that case, I will cast Dispel Magic on the door. Does anything seem to happen with the conjuration spell when that happens?
You detect magic on the door. Sorry, you dispel the
Dispel magic on the door.
Yes, something does happen. As soon as the magic is...
I have time, I
Yeah.
will cast Dispel Magic again, but there is a 6-second window, basically.
Okay, so I would allow you to cast it as a reaction. You will have the opportunity to cast, because you're expecting it, this doesn't come as a surprise. Like you're prepared for, like you said, the worst to happen. So I know you have a couple other tools in the tool chest. So you can cast as a reaction, and also Carlos and your 3 agents, you're prepared for this.
Yes.
But immediately before the door, essentially what happens is one of the nondescript little stone carvings seems to leap off of the wall, and as it pounces down to the floor, it transforms into a Yeth hound, which is a large fey wolf-looking thing with the furry face of a man.
Uh-oh.
We immediately jump to attack, I suppose.
Well, as I said, because you guys are expecting this, and also, like, it's... Yeah, so you have anything you can do as a reaction, have the opportunity. I'm just going to see if I can find... Don't know if I have Hellhound. Are you in animals?
Oh, I have nothing. Well, the only thing like that I would have done as a thing to that would have been casting Dispel Magic on the conjuration. But if I don't have time to do that, then about what I have available, what do I want to use?
I'm going to use this Hellhound just because apparently
There
I don't have a
is
big left hand. Oh, over here. This is a 20 by 30 airlock for Theater of the Mind. Oh, I wonder if I can grid project onto this or if it'll ruin everything. Oh, that ain't too bad. Ogre. Boom. Okay, it's right there. I'm gonna color it brown so that it's not. There we go.
Da, da, da.
I believe in you.
Mhm.
Just wanted you to know that.
Well, I don't have any good restraining or kind of wish I'd taken banishment right now, but I did not.
I was expecting the B word to come up somehow. One of them too, yeah.
I have a question.
Ask a question.
Can I rush up to the creature and attempt to use my shock gauntlets on them?
You absolutely can, because you're prepared for something bad to happen. You're absolutely
Okay,
You can certainly try.
I can certainly try.
Matt
So I'll do
Mercer.
that. Okay. This is 16 hit.
16. A 16 hits.
Okay. So now it's going to take 2d6 lightning damage, and it has to beat a DC 15 con save or be paralyzed.
Oh, okay.
We're
2d6
trying here.
lightning damage.
Lightning damage takes 5 lightning damage.
Okay. That's been recorded. And then it needs to roll a con save to avoid being paralyzed. What's the DC for that again?
15.
15. Okay.
Did you
we
place
go.
this down somewhere? Or no?
It's right in between the two maps, and I also projected the grid.
Okay. Where am
Here
I?
we go.
Think you're under the
4,
Colosseum.
3 is 7.
Oh.
Are you under the Colosseum? Oh, yeah, you are.
We are in the
Grab yourselves. Crunch.
You got crushed to death by a Colosseum.
What a way to go.
Shit. I knew something bad would happen.
Alright, what did it-
He was
what
gonna
did it
die in
roll?
the Colosseum. It rolled a 7 out of whatever your 15, you said?
Yeah, it is paralyzed. It can repeat the save at the end of every round.
Okay.
Yeah. This is a conjured creature, right?
It has just been conjured, yes.
Hopefully it rolls good in the initiative order.
I mean, hopefully it rolls bad.
Yeah.
Is the conjuration spell still active?
The conjuration spell is still active, and you're aware that there's supposed to be two other things, but they haven't been thinged yet.
Then I will cast a spell magic on that to ensure nothing else shows up.
Okay, you dispel the magic.
This does not affect the hound that is already here.
No, the hound is there, but at least it won't get friends.
Yeah. While it's paralyzed, I direct my companions to beat it the hell up, because we're ready for it.
Okay, so the two of the lads rush in with. What do you guys have?
Automatic
Rush in with
critical
short-
hits if they hit, right? Because paralyzing.
Oh, it's true.
Oh,
so they
there we
rush in
go.
with short swords, and then one of them has a light crossbow. So the two short sword guys are going to come in, and they make 2 attacks each. So we'll say 2,
Set them up.
4.
You gotta knock them down.
Yeah. So this is the first turn. They have advantage, which means any hit they score against this creature could end up being a critical hit. Luckily, they get advantage. Okay, so that's
Do it?
4 hits.
Oh, 4?
Yeah,
I'll
because
take
there were two that were good. I checked the numbers. The 2 low ones were high in the first round, luckily, and the 2 other ones were just as good the both times. They have to beat a not very big number. Plus 7, so that's 6. 1d6 plus 3 each. 1, 2, 3, 4. This plus 12. Oof. So total of 13 plus 12 is 25 from the 2 guys, and then it has to make 2. This is a general question because I've never had to do this at once.
Mhm.
These guys poisoned their blades because they know this is dirty work. Which means
Yep.
it's got to take several Constitution saving throws in a row, or is it just like 1 in general if you get hit 4 times? I don't know how that works.
Oh.
So
No, each time would be separate, although I don't think you can get double poisoned.
I think if it's the same poison, it depends on if you pass or fail. If you pass, you can no longer be poisoned by that effect. Period.
Okay, so
For the duration.
If we fail once, we fail them all, basically,
Oh,
Yeah,
because it's gonna get poisoned.
unless they manage another con save.
1, 2, 3, 4.
At least that's how I understand poison rules.
Yeah,
I've never
for the
used poison
initial one.
before.
40, 60, oh wow. Okay, it's not poison, that's for sure.
Injected with
Nobody
so
knows
much of it, I feel fine.
Right?
yummy poison.
Give me some
And then the
more,
third
please.
guy
Yummy,
is
yummy.
gonna crossbow advantage because it's paralyzed.
I can do this all day.
Saying a Fey Fiend summon creature thing? Is it even susceptible to poison in the first place?
Good question.
Nope, it doesn't say. I know what it's. I'm looking at what its immunities are, and I'm not going to say them out loud because nobody's bothered to roll. But hopefully it's not. So that's a hit from the crossbow. Hell yeah!
Oh, I don't think the crossbow critical hits. I believe the auto crit is only for melee attacks.
I think so as well. Shit, I lost my place. There it is. 1d8 plus 3. Oh, if that's auto critical, then that would have been double dick dice damage. Basically means it would be slaughtered given how much hit points it has left. I'm going to roll the crossbow anyway. So 1d8 plus 3, so 7 plus 3 is 10. Booger. All right.
Is it alive?
No, I forgot about the crit damage. So the 3, basically all as a trio, they come in and they just like, what's his name? Julius Caesar, who got like all the knives in the back from the senators.
Yeah.
They just run and just start fucking stabbing the shit out of him, and then he gets a crossbow bolt between the eyes, and it dies. Right away. Carlos runs in, he punches it in the face, and as it's reeling back from the blow, they just start ganking it in the ribs. They fucking like kill it right away. Just,
Stomping the
tumbles
dog.
over backwards without even being able to do anything.
Carlos, Carlos like brushes off his coat and like pulls on the collar and lets it snap back and well done, gentlemen. Let's get underway. And continues down the corridor.
Totally planned. It's fine.
Always plan for the unexpected.
So you just have an iron door between yourselves and the stairs. The door is no longer magical.
If it's no longer magical, I will test the door.
Oh, the
Does it
door
open?
opens.
Hell yeah. I go through the door.
You go through the door. You're on the opposite side of the downside of the stairs, which means you just have to make the simple act of walking around and then going down into the stairs. Upon doing such a thing, because I'm sure that's what you do, you enter in from this side of the floor plan. You're in the vault.
Hell yeah,
Hooray!
boys. We're in.
How many minutes have passed since we opened the outer door?
It's been like 3 minutes.
Okay.
You still have like
Most
57 minutes of your fucking...
I assume you
I have
guys were, like,
57 minutes of True Sight and 7 minutes of Detect Magic.
Yeah, you're well ready and like ordered to do it. Okay.
Get over here, Paelias. What are you doing?
Just remembering to update that I did in fact use True Seeing, so I need to reduce the components I have for that.
How does that cost components?
Yeah, it costs a non-replaceable component.
Damn. The things we do for money.
Oh no, I spent 25 GP to cast See Everything, so we could rob all the money.
All the money ever. Seems worth it. Does Paelias see anything with his true vision?
The true vision, you don't see anything.
I don't see anything invisible or any illusion.
No, you don't see any invisible things or any illusion.
Or any secret doors.
No secret doors, no.
Do I detect any magic?
Oh, the range is out to 30 feet, correct?
Yes.
Now we have to start measuring.
My sense is 30 feet, blocked by, as previously stated, and...
No, you don't detect any magic right now. You are in a basement, but the ceilings of this small hallway are about 15 feet high, with buttresses that arch into catacomb-like peaks. It's damp down here, and your footsteps echo down the corridor as you walk.
Can I make a perception or an investigation roll to see if there are any mechanical traps or alarms?
Carlos
Yes,
should also do that.
Okay, both you may.
Perception or investigation?
Yeah.
I'm going to say perception because you're looking as you're walking. Unless you want to start, like, touching the walls and feeling your way along.
So nat 20 for a total of 29.
Boys! This corridor is a corridor. It doesn't look like there's any hidden surprises, mechanical or otherwise.
Hell yeah.
In that case, I will move to the vault door.
Let's hurry on.
The vault door. All right. The lads, they move on up.
Anything special about it?
As Paelias moves, this is once again, this is Abjure 2 times. Except it's not the whole door, it is 2 of the, I can't remember what those crank wheels are called, but like the big cycling, rolling wheels that you use to like actually unlock a very huge gold door like this one is. It is gold plated metal.
Okay.
And those mechanisms are magic.
Question.
Answer.
Could I estimate what the weight is based on the material
What the weight is?
of the door? Yes.
Sorry. How does one? How are you going to go about estimating this so that I understand? What's the strategy here? Or you're just gonna look at it and think?
I'm going to look at it and assume volume and then compare that to the weight of gold. Minus a bit for internal mechanisms.
Oh, I don't know how much a friggin' vault door weighs.
A lot.
A lot.
Couple tons.
Several tons.
More than a couple.
All
did
right.
say
In that
several.
case, I will
Tons.
double dispel magic,
You will double dispel magic. Okay.
and then I will allow Carlos to get to work if that's necessary.
Carlos is
You-
gonna have to get to work. This
Very
is
well.
This is there's a series of rotating discs in the center of each wheel, like kind of in the hub of each of the wheels, and that is the lock that you must unlock.
All right. Here we go. Huh. Okay, so that is sleight of hand 29.
Sleight of hand 29. You, with an expert ear, you take your time, and you turn the discs, quickly understanding exactly how the 3 intricate layers of rings and their digits are interlocked, and you wait until you hear the faintest of click, and then you move the second and the third, and you're able to get the first lock fully open to where you can now spin the wheel. And I assume you do so.
Yes.
And you can hear ginormous steel bolts. You presume it's steel. Maybe they're gold as well, because these guys seem like they're pretty ostentatious. But you hear them sliding back into their recesses where they're now ready to open. You still have that second door though.
Second lock.
Yeah.
And he already dispelled both of them, right?
He double dispelled, yeah.
Okay, I'll get to work on the other. Okay. Just a 23 this time.
You know what?
Yeah.
Sorry,
Because
just
I feel
26
like
this
it,
time.
I'm going to use my reaction, and I'm going to use my deck of Oracle's Portent to turn that 5 into a 16.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Well, in that case, 32.
Hell yeah. Even easier. You understand how the lock works now. Before it was the exploratory surgery, now you're the surgeon himself. You understand exactly how to get this thing open, and in much less time, you hear that click, and you slide the bolts back, and you can feel on nice, beautifully lubricated hinges with just a gentle push. The vault doors slowly glide open to reveal a room bathed in gentle candlelight. The ceiling of this chamber is 100 feet high. There are 2 massive sets of arches that are black, like dark black marble that look like they have veins of raw gold trickling through them. And they look to be about 50 feet high. upon or beside each of the supports of these columns, sorry, they're arches. In front of each of the supports of these arches is a statue of what looks like some important or otherwise noteworthy figure embossed in the purest of white marble. And they have a bronze face mask that has been fitted over to hide the features and the identity of whatever this individual is. They are resting peacefully on their plinths before each of the columns. Farther back, you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is a mirror image. Each of these little columns, there's a strange floating lantern, which is boosting light throughout the vicinity. Paelias, you can tell up to the first ones that are nearby that they are casting magic of the whatever the detection kind. I think that's also abjuration. Divination. It is divination type magic. And surrounded in the center by all of those looks like a very odd set of concentric bronze rings, each about 10 feet in diameter, and they rotate slowly around each other with a pulsing, fiery red light within. This chamber seems to be empty and devoid of any presence. In front of you, there is a large marble platform of some sort, a dais, if you will, with a set of stairs going to it. And you can see these two other marble platforms at whatever point when you guys get in there to see enough. The three agents that are ringing the door, they kind of look in and they peer around with quiet wonder. And they ask what's next. If they can do anything, or if they just want you to tag along for now. Or you want them to tag along for now.
Hold for now. There might be more magic about.
They nod their heads.
Can I make investigation or history or arcana to attempt to determine what the things are?
The lanterns?
The concentric ring things.
The concentric ring things. You'll have to get a little bit closer to examine them in more detail. Looking from the door, they're a bit far away.
Can he tell if it's safe to move into the corridor?
Yeah, there's no barriers, magical or otherwise, that are preventing you from entering into the chamber proper.
Okay, we'll enter the corridor, and I will suggest we close the vault door behind us.
Follow me, gentlemen, but make sure you stay behind me.
They'll file in one after the other.
And then, if nothing happens when we get inside, I would begin setting up and after closing the door, I would set up the cube so we can get some of the Izzet guys and some of the just extra manpower over here to assist.
Absolutely. So we'll set up the cube. I'll actually make it a cube.
Should we not have the portal closer towards the center? I don't know. I don't know magic.
It's up to you. I figured we'd just get our other supporting team members here as fast as possible now that we are in fact inside the vault.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, that's fine with me then. Let's get them here. Is there anything we should be aware of?
Take this thing up, because theoretically I could just move it after we've gotten the manpower here.
So the cube looks like kind of really ornate Rubik's Cube type thing. And by entering in, like, basically, like, turning the right things the correct way, it folds open, and then that is what projects the portal. Or that is what projects the gate. So you could, once it's open, you can't really move it. Just because then you know you shouldn't move it when it's open, because you know about this device. But you can close it and open it as much as you want. So if you wanted to open it now, get people through, you can close it and then open it somewhere else.
Yeah, that's what I was going to do. I was going to open it, color support, and then I can move it to a more efficient position later.
Yeah.
Getting the additional manpower right now would be my first priority.
Heck yeah. All right.
Because I've gone through quite a lot of magic to get us here, as far as we know, undetected.
As far as we know, undetected is a good way to say that. I need to find my special. We'll do this one. Okay. So, in bounce, clone these. That would do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10. Them dudes, led by clone.
For a second, I thought that said Bros Legionnaire, and I'm like, hell yeah, dude.
The Legion of Bros.
Hell yeah, dude. Yeah.
A battle angel comes through the gate with their first little wave of troops, and also it's not a Minotaur, but
Oh my god!
Minotaur. It's physically a Minotaur, but this is a war priest of Boros.
Boros priest, I like it.
Yeah,
A bros priest? Hell yeah, dude.
Bros. And so they all like fumble out of the gate. They're ready to help you clear everything.
Paelias, was there any other magic we need to be careful of?
I would notify about the detection magic I could send in the side rooms. Didn't we have guys on standby as well?
I thought we did.
Yeah, but these ones are coming through first because they didn't really know what was going to happen. Izzet guys on standby are a collection of goblins, and they will show up.
Can they dispel magic?
Can the Izzet guys dispel magic?
Yeah.
I guess we'll find out. I just got to.
I don't remember what they were. Were they engineers or magic?
They're magical engineers, effectively.
Oh, perfect.
A combination. They're a combination of mundane
Is
scientists
like wizards,
as
artificers, and so on.
Hell yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
Maybe they have a dispel gun.
Wouldn't that be just magical?
Give me that.
It would be magical.
Literally. Thank you.
Actually magic. Fighter Bard. Ah, there he is. There he is. That's the one I'm looking for. I found him the other day. I loved him so much. Look at this little goblin guy. He's got little like artificer goggles and everything.
What's not to love?
It's not to love. Okay. There's 3 of these guys pop through. They're your little Izzet guys. They pop through after all these assholes come through. A few minutes. The idea was let the big, strong, armored guys go into the potentially dangerous situation because remember, they didn't know what was going to happen. You could have opened the gate for reinforcements or for manpower. Yeah. So they went the soldiers through first.
Or for a quick escape.
Yeah, or for anything. So they pop through. These guys are like around the gate.
I would like to instruct the Boros, or not the Boros, the the Izzet people or the Izzet goblins to clear the side rooms as well as the head of any magical trap or detection magic that they can find.
They aren't quite as powerful of a magic users as you are, so they're a little bit limited on the strength of the magic that they can cast, but they'll do their best.
Well, if they can determine like what we're dealing with, that it's not a threat, then they don't have to dispel it. But
all right, well, Buddy's gonna go over here with his friend. They're gonna like tag team this to figure out what it is. And this guy's gonna go wandering over this way. The Legionnaires are gonna like follow along because they're not stupid. They know that this guy's kind of important.
Yeah, hell yeah.
And this lady and her party is gonna start moving up the.
I will follow Carlos wherever he ended up.
Carlos went up the little dais because he's curious.
I'll start moving. So they're examining this over here. He's going to.
All right, so we have the door here. We have both door over there. And what here?
Yeah, wow.
With his sight beyond sight, can Paelias see people through walls as well?
No.
Ah, okay.
I can see in darkness, whether magical or not, invisible, through illusions and into the ethereal plane.
All right. So Carlos wants to direct his guys, his rogues, to guard this door. And if anyone tries to come through it, to snatch them quickly.
This door over here?
Yeah. This door.
All right. You don't want them to go through and look around. You just want them to hold position.
Not at the moment.
All
I
right.
just want them to be ready to snatch if someone tries to come through.
Actually, I will move up the gate cube into this main room.
You could even use the dais if you preferred. Seems like it belongs there, doesn't it?
Gonna hide.
I mean, if that's what Carlos wants.
Hell yeah.
If
That's
Carlos wants, Carlos gets.
Carlos always
He's
gets what he wants.
okay. So before that happens, Carlos, as you go up on top of this dais and take a look, you notice that these stone rings look as though they are supposed to move somehow.
Oh, wait, don't put this here.
You're not quite sure, but it looks like those stone rings are supposed to move somehow. Currently, it is at rest, and it doesn't look like there's any mechanism or any sort of like moving components aside from the fact that those are like separate. They're not part of like the same stonework. They've been, individually placed there.
Does Paelias' specialized tell him anything about it?
Paelias is specialized. Tell him that this is a portal of some sort, or this is a magical item that is capable of forming a portal. Magical construction.
Can I roll Arcana or investigation to determine if this is a planar portal or just a spatial one?
That would be an Arcana check, and I know you're really good at that. And I also know that you're really smart with portals, which I can't remember if you got something funky for that or not.
I have the book, but I don't think you ever stated like an effect for it. It's a 28.
28. This is a planar portal.
So given what we know and that the Whispered... Carlos let the rest of us know that the Whispered One had been spotted here, right?
Yes.
So this is possibly the portal to Ravnica that they are intending to use.
Potentially.
Potentially. It is a planar portal.
That would be Quite the stroke. Fortune. Can we destroy it?
Physically, yes.
What are
But
the?
I
what are
don't
the-
know what that would what would happen if we do.
Hmm. I don't like it. Legionnaires, could a couple of you just keep an eye on this thing?
They'll
Maybe dangerous.
I would actually I would tell the leader that it's a planar portal, and they would be in the know, right?
they are.
The,
He's like the officer in charge of the Boros strike team that was like greenlit for your little operation. So they were whatever details you guys deigned to give to the lot of them. They know as much as you guys were willing to share.
Okay,
she's
so
been
basically, what I wanted to know is if they know about the whole theft from the Is it
Yes.
about the research. Yeah, this is
Yeah, they know-
possibly a result of that.
Yeah, the officer whose name is Azalea states that if this is such an object, then perhaps it must be perhaps it might not be a good idea to destroy it right away, because she doesn't know what will happen. Is it technology is not something that's known to react well to damage. She kind of looks behind her to see if the Is it scientists are there, and they're not. Before she says that, or priest is there too.
Very well. We'll leave it be
So-
for now.
These two guys in the meanwhile, these two guys are hanging out here. They're looking at a lantern, and Buddy on the back comes like walking on over to Isaac, and he says, I know what those things are. I was actually the one who designed the plans. That's a
He walks over to a dead person.
What?
You said
or no, Isaac, oh fuck, Paelias, what the fuck it is.
It's a long trip
Dead
to find
people.
Isaac.
He just conveniently goes to Sanctuary. So he comes up and he says, yes, I helped design these. I know what they are. The inner workings are quite familiar. This is a detector array. I'm pretty sure we're being watched.
So they already know we're here.
Yes, and it's been linked into something else. I was able to figure it out with my colleague there. He didn't know a whole lot, but they seem to all be interconnected. They're protecting that center object, but I haven't had a chance to look at it. Maybe my colleague will know.
If it's useful, we should definitely try to find a way to take it. In the meantime, we should also get to work on what we came here for.
Yes.
I believe the vault should be to my right. We'll need to get in there. Paelias, do you see any other magic on that door, or the other door?
I will check the things. Do I see the thing?
It's these doors he's wondering about.
So, yes, you see the doors. I'm aware of time in case anybody is looking at time, and we're almost at the wrap. But I'm going to let Carlos and Paelias look at the doors before
The
this guy's
doors.
rolled for his thing, and something's going to happen. But that's meta knowledge for you guys. You can open the doors. So the doors themselves seem to be mundane mechanisms. They don't seem to be magically barred or locked.
Whatever. That's what the divination. Probably what the divination and the fucking main vault door locks are for, or magic locks are for. So yeah.
At this point, they're probably like, well, if I got this far.
They'd be like, no one would be stupid enough to cast the spell magic that many times. All right. Well, I notify Carlos that there's no magic on either of the doors.
Good. That will simplify things. For once.
Which you want to go look at?
Loot the side rooms. Take the money.
money.
So yeah, are we wrapping up or are we
So if you're we'll do it.
Paelias will head over to this guy to see what he's up to because he's not going to bother with the menial labor.
Before y'all get a chance to get too close, you kind of like look towards him to see what's going on as you're aware that he was investigating it. And the concentric rings, they slowly turn in a circle around this fiery orb in the center. And the Izzet artificer pulls out a very intricate, extendable, collapsible poker stick, like a brass rod that you can use to touch stuff from a distance, because touching things with your hand is not good, right, Carlos? Especially when it's magic.
Okay.
So he's intelligently using a rod.
Okay.
And he touches the thing. It immediately gets incinerated with a shriek that is cut off quite significantly. And as soon as that happens, the concentric rings begin spinning faster, and the ball of fire begins getting irritated and more volumetric in its fiery glow. The lanterns begin to spin, and a loud, audible shriek seems to come from everywhere all at once. And Carlos, you turn around to see the dais. That central platform elevates. The stone rings surrounding it also begin to elevate and begin spinning in the air to form a vertical portal, which flashes into almost a mirror-like mercurial horizon. Stepping through moments later are 3 Orjav knights. You unspin him. And that's where we end. These guys are huge.
Too huge.
Too huge.
We did it, Carlos. We infiltrated the vault.
We did.
There. 3 knights.
You're outnumbered. Surrender.
Portal isn't shut. They're just the first. I mean, there are 3 of them that come through. Who knows how many more there might be. It's a good thing. It's a good thing y'all were ready. And we'll end the session here.
I'll have my money.
Sad that Carlos didn't get to see the riches that are waiting behind, but that's okay. He'll see them. Maybe he'll see them next session.
The riches that may or may not be there.
Shut up, they're there.
Told they're there. It really sucks.
Bunch of platinum. I'm gonna get out of here very rich.
True. There's a lot of money here. Okay. Game is saved.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, that is probably saved. Okay. Yeah, so thanks for joining. Welcome, kidders, again. Hope you enjoyed your little debut. I know you didn't get to see a whole lot of action, but it's guaranteed to see something crazy happen on both sides next week.
Great.
Next time on
Oh yeah.
Dragon Ball Z.
Dragon Ball Z. Yeah, Colosseum's gonna be a good time. I have no intentions of doing. I have no plans of doing simultaneous combats. However, that second one is kind of player dependent, and I don't want to make you guys feel like you shouldn't do something crazy, but there's not a current intention to do 2 concentric player combats. That'd be a lot to handle.
DM will lose his mind.
I feel like everybody's going to lose their minds at that point.
I'm losing my mind.
anyways, yeah. So that's what I got for this week. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'm really excited to see how you handle these next set of challenges next week. Okay, game saved. I'm gonna